Hey everyone, welcome back to Meet the Hives. Today we're talking with the English Hive with Dario, the Princess Bee of the English Hive. Hey Dario, how you doing?
Hi Jesse, I am doing good, thank you.
I like your background, it's cool.
Yeah.
So we've all seen you around the community, like everywhere. You're like ubiquitous. Why don't you, because I don't even know it myself, like your personal story of like how you got into Eos and crypto.
My story is that my friend introduced me in, I think, beginning of 2017 to Bitcoin, and I bought my first Bitcoins. I was very lucky that I bought it in April, and just like 6 months later, we had this huge bull run. I was like, oh, it's super easy to make money here. And then I discovered a lot of other coins. I was like informing myself what could be the next good investment. Then I discovered EOS, and I really was fascinated from the idea. And then later, when it came online, what I really liked is that it's like super fast. When I staked it, it was free to use for me. And as well, I felt super comfortable with the mechanism that I can stake my EOS, have 2 different keys and account alerts. And so if I make a mistake, I get scammed or I get hacked, or my key somehow, my active key gets compromised, I still have my owner key away from the internet. No hacker can reach it, and I have like 24 or 4 days, 24 hours to 4 days to get my coins back. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what made me really comfortable about the EOS.
So did you find EOS in 2017 as well? Like when did you first start looking at EOS?
I think this was in end of 2017, beginning of 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I bought some EOS, but then the launch, I got scared. I sold it again. Then I waited until they started the chain, and then I bought it back. So I don't have a Genesis account because I got scared.
Well, you probably bought it back at a lower price.
I don't remember. I think I bought a little bit through time, always a little bit more.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you've been here for a while. Everyone has kind of seen you around, and like so it's been really like a pleasure to work with you in the English Hive, and just kind of, I think I got support from you like 3 years ago too, when like no one knew me in the community. Where does that come from? Like you're very dedicated, like you're very prolific. That type of work ethic, like were you always like that, or has EOS like inspired that out of you?
I think I'm always like that when I'm fascinated for something, to help bring out the good things. I mean, do good things and talk about, yeah. It doesn't help anyone if we have a lot of good things and nobody speaks about. And it's just recently that I got involved more, because before I was kitesurf instructor.
Okay.
Before that, I was working in IT for like 15 years. Then thought I have to see the world a little bit more instead of sitting in front of a computer all the time. And then I went for a kitesurf instructor and did that for 7 to 8 years, as well as kitesurf or like water sports center manager. But now with the COVID and the restriction, and it's getting hard to travel around, and there is less and less guests in the water sports centers, I thought it's the time to finish that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Go back into IT. And since I'm super in love with EOS, I thought I'd try to find work within the EOS ecosystem. And thanks to Eden on EOS, I met you, I met Randall, I met a lot of other people. Yeah, but now let's see if this have a future for me.
Yeah.
If I can make a living out of it.
Yeah, I think we all in this position are wondering that and hoping that that's the case. Yeah, it sounds like you were inspired by the funding and the ENF and Eden and Pomelo, and it's so great to see. I think it'll keep bringing in more people, and that's super cool.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the English Hive. I'll give you kind of my perspective first, and maybe then you can give me an overview. Like, it's one of the most interesting hives to me because English is perhaps, maybe Mandarin is one of the very top languages in the world. And the people who speak English in Western or very developed countries already have another job. And our current treasury at EOSBs, we cannot pay market rates. And so the people that we have in the English Hive speak English, but are not from dominantly speaking English-speaking countries. And so we have like a huge diversity of people in the English Hive. And it's kind of like, it feels to me like America, like, because America's very like melting pot, like a lot, very diverse. And so I kind of get that vibe in the English Hive. So it's cool. Why don't you tell us maybe your general thoughts? What are we looking at in terms of the landscape, like the size, maybe some key facts about like the English speaking EOS community?
Yeah, it's for me, the English speaking EOS community, everyone can see on like Reddit, we have over 90,000 members. Telegram and Facebook each has 20,000 members. On Twitter, I suppose there will be, or are maybe more than 100,000 people lurking around.
So on that point, and like especially on Reddit, I always wonder, like, are these people who signed up for like the EOS subreddit in 2018 when it was all like hyped up, and are they just, you know, the numbers still there, but like maybe not so active? Like I've noticed, like on Twitter, to me, it feels like Twitter is active. Reddit is not as active. Facebook, maybe in the middle. Do you get that sense?
I mean, if I compare to other crypto groups, I mean, there is like posts every second or every, like they're really coming. But I'm still not sure. Maybe are these people are real, or are they maybe working as well, like with bots, or I don't know what are the tricks. It's hard for me to tell. And also in our Reddit, I mean, we have 90,000 members, but also I see like every day they're signing up 20 to 50 people. But just from what I see every day with posts and comments, I would say it feels more like, I don't know, 1,000 active people or maybe 500. I'm not sure, or maybe there are more, but the people just not engaging.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of readers only.
Maybe also. Yeah.
I used to do that. Like my first year in the EOS community, I didn't really engage at all. I was just reading the whole time.
Me too.
Even on Telegram, like that big group on Telegram, I always wonder like how many people are actually reading. And I would think that it's more than it looks. It's like a big iceberg. Like the tip of the iceberg is the people engaging, and then below it is all the readers. What about in the news? Like, how do you see the crypto news and specifically EOS talk in English talking about EOS in the news?
Like the mainstream news, or
Yeah.
also that's what I hear always from my friends and family, because I always tell them about the US. And for some of them, I even help them with their accounts or to maintain their accounts. And they always complain that there is no news about EOS in the mainstream media or in the mainstream crypto media, I can say. I think the mainstream media is Doc Pierce now just did advertising, or like the EOS name drop. But other than him, I don't know of anybody. And now with the ENF, for sure, also we will have more news now in the crypto media, for sure. Yeah, but in the past, there was just talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Solana, Polkadot.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to get better there.
Yeah, we got to get a lot better on that. From my perspective, obviously it's everyone, I mean, most people watching this speak English, so you know that it's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum. There's a lot of venture capital behind Solana. And then there's like the joke with the Doge and the Shiba Inu. But if I'm thinking like the history, I remember on John Oliver's Last Week Tonight, it was Brock Pearson EOS in 2018. And now.
Yeah, exactly. That was also good coverage, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was funny, and Brock came off as, because he was, wearing his crazy hat, and he just kind of came off as maybe like a little weird to some people. And now Brock is back with Helios, and from a marketing perspective, it is an amazing asset. He is an incredible marketing asset. And he gets on like whatever news he wants to get on. Like they always have him, like on all the major news. And so Dario just mentioned that we're recording this, I think, a day or two after he did a little name drop. We got a little something. He mentioned EOS as a potential coins to hold. And I think that it will continue. He will continue to promote EOS in the news. So that's really exciting. However you feel about Brock, try to think from a marketing perspective. Like, we really need this type of stuff. And so that's great. Yeah, so let's move on to, so let's talk about the problems on EOS. So from your perspective, for the English language, what do they care about? What problems on EOS do people care about?
I think block one is still one of the main topics, I think. And after that, I would say how hard it is to onboard people.
Yeah, it's tough to shake the people still bring it up. Like people are still like very, very hurt by what happened. And I think the community is struggling a little bit to move on from block one. And so, yeah, I can understand like the perception. So that's like a problem in perception. And hopefully just as time goes on, we can get past that a little bit better. And then you mentioned onboarding. And so can you elaborate on that a little bit? I know that we have on EOS, we have a different way to set up accounts. And I guess there's not a great way to like find dApps. Like we're kind of missing like a dApp directory, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that's also something we are creating now on EOS support, that people have one point of contact and they find everything there. If they have questions about account creation, about dApps, about an overview, about where to go, or even if they have business requests, that we just have like a point of contact, and then we just forward them to the right teams.
Yeah, so that was one of our motivations. We came out with that EOS DApp ecosystem with links, clickable links, so people can better see what their options are on EOS. And I know that Greymass, I think, is also working on, I think it's like on the back, like in the bottom of their to-do list, but I think they have like a DApp gallery, I think they call it on there. Yeah, it's something that we really need, and we're focusing on trying to get more articles out there about the different dApps I'm working on. So yeah, we're aware, we're trying to tackle that problem. So let's go on the other side, the positive side. What do you think the English-speaking community likes most about EOS?
From these people I have contacted, it's free and instant transactions. And those who know the extra security through the permission system combined with staking and account alerts.
Yeah. And what about, do you have any opinion or sense on which dApps people are most interested in?
I think it's a little bit from everything. Most, I think, DeFi and making money, but as well like NFT, metaverse, virtual land property, social, music, governments.
Yeah, so that's Upland.
Games, everything what
got it.
Can be thought of, depending on the individual.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, and so we're trying to, the B's in support, we're working on a solution in the onboarding space. We're building a referral system, and we want to use EOS support agents to help qualify people, make sure that like they're a real legit person. And we want to collect like personality data, and the support agent will send them a curated list of dApps based on what their interests are. And so I'm really excited for that. We'll get a lot better data on that question that I just asked. It's kind of hard to tell. Like Upland has a lot of downloads. They also do a lot of advertising. And DeFi Box is like the main DeFi in Nudex. But outside of that, it's like, it's very murky, the data outside of that. So hopefully by this time next year, we can have a better answer to that question. Okay, let's move on. Wishes. What do you wish to see, or what is your sense of the EOS the English-speaking EOS community wish to see going forward in the future?
I think that's free EOS accounts and easy onboarding from friends and family.
Okay, so the thing that we're trying to build. Well, you do get free accounts on Wombat, but I guess you're talking about free accounts with keys. Would you say that like free accounts kind of like they already exist, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, free accounts exist, but still it needs kind of knowledge. I think the way is there where EOS in a box is going, that, for example, as well, like for all the people who don't want to take the responsibility or they can't because they just not technical enough to understand what they are doing. They have, there is a solution out there. If they lose their phone, do a mistake, that they can say, look, I want this guy or this company or this entity to manage my account. And they can go there, and these people or this person has the owner key, and they can generate a new active key if they lose their device, or just have to come to a solution where the people don't have to care about anything, but still have the advantage from this permission system EOS have.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we wish Ami the best in his EOS in a box. It would be great to have free and more secure and more comfortable accounts. People lose their keys all the time, lose their crypto all the time. Yeah, I know my friend of mine just lost a bunch of EOS NFTs because he got a new phone, and he did the anchor, and he didn't write down, he didn't save the 6 keywords. He had the certificate, but he didn't have the words. And to guess the correct, like, you got to get a correct 6 in a row out of, like, I think Anchor gives you like an option out of like 30 words or 40 words. To guess that, it's like you need like an algorithm, like a computer bot to guess all of that. And
or look, for me, it's like for normal people, it's already too much. Even if it's that much easy, like Anchor did with a certificate. There are even people who just click, they don't read. They just click, they want the EOS account as fast as possible because they want to do something.
Right.
So they don't care about all the security. And then they do whatever they want to do, and then they forget. Then one day they lose the device, and yeah, that's the problem. But if it's like, would be, let's say they create the account and they can say, I don't care. I just want somebody to help me. Then it creates with I'm also not sure. I mean, these solutions.
No, yeah. So if they had a custodian or someone to help them,
exactly, yeah,
that would be a much better solution for a lot of people. So yeah, go on me. Good luck. Your Hive, the English Hive. Every Hive, they get a certain allocation of EOS from the treasury based on our algorithm. But it's kind of fun to kind of think about, what if you had like a lot more EOS to work with, like 1 million EOS or some crazy number? What kind of bounties, what would you do? What would you have your Hive do with a lot of EOS?
Make sure we have a good onboarding strategy in place. And then onboard as many people as we can, incentivize people to bring their family and friends to EOS.
Yeah, so maybe
something in this direction.
Yeah, so it's clear that like you're really passionate about onboarding. I know you ran on that, I think, in Eden, right? Like
yeah, I ran for EOS support because I still think if we just like make all the marketing and we don't have a strategy to onboard the people or people to help onboard people, then maybe look what they're interested in and make them stay in EOS.
We need both. We definitely need both.
Exactly.
We need marketing and we need support and onboarding. And I think it's super cool that Randall and I are kind of started this around the same time. We are kind of like tied at the hip in a sense. And so, you know, we're always talking, working closely. Like I mentioned before, we have this new project that we're working on. And I'm always kind of checking in on him and he's checking in on me. So hopefully that will continue to be like a really fruitful relationship.
So for my, it's very, very valuable, this connection. Exactly.
And yeah, Dario, you got your toes in both pools there. So yeah, that's cool to see. So I've asked all the Hives this. I haven't really like answered it myself. So I'll go ahead and answer it. I would do like 2 main things with a lot of EOS. My background is YouTube ads and creating engaging, funny explainer videos, and building a funnel to get the people onboarded into a product. And so I would want to work with like the top dApps who would want to work with us and spend. So the only thing I don't like about this is that you have to sell the EOS because you have to pay Google, and Google doesn't accept EOS. So that's like the only downside, but I think it's worth it. spending like $10,000 a month on these ads and getting like a lot of people in. I personally think like Violet Garden would be an excellent way to do that. I know that they're kind of within Fractally now, and I know John said he's not really 100% sure the direction, but so yeah, YouTube ads, building a funnel. The other way, through influencers. And so we've been doing research on influencers, and they're very expensive. The ones
Yes.
in English at least. Some other of the Hives are doing research too, and they're more affordable. And so we're kind of going with some influencers that don't speak English for now, because that's just what we can do with our budget. But yeah, I would just pay whatever they want. Like honestly, like just pay them. And you know, maybe once a month or twice a month. I think that will help us a lot in the sentiment problem that we have. So that's what I would do. Hopefully we can get to a spot like, I don't think any Hive will ever have 1 million EOS. I mean, that's obviously just like a super massive number, unrealistic. But maybe as an organization, we can get up to 1 million EOS. And we can really do some things. We're trying to prove ourselves now, and I think we're doing a decent job of it, and we still have a long way to go. Yeah, marketing. We need marketing. That's why we're here. So I think for closing, I would like you to tell the EOS community a story that you shared with me, I think it was a few weeks ago, that you have gotten your landlord to accept EOS. How did you do that?
Yeah, I always try to use my EOS in daily life. I tell family and friends, and if I can pay in EOS, I always pay in EOS. And one day I told my landlord about EOS and started to send him updates.
When was this? When was the first day that you told your landlord about EOS? Do you remember?
That was a year ago, I think, more or less. I don't remember exactly when it started. Somehow it's always I sneak it in somewhere. And now after 1 year, I keep sending him news, and with the US Network Foundation stepping up and funding becoming available, I think he sees now that we're moving in the right direction, and he started to get interested. And he agreed that I finally now can pay my rent in US. And I'm working as well with the neighbors here, that I start paying them, like local craftsmen or fishermen where I get my fish, or a gardener. And if I can make them to accept EOS, they maybe, when the price would rise one day, I still hope, that we get there and that they get hooked up with EOS. Then maybe I already have a lot of people, my team, who convince my local supermercado to accept EOS, because here in Brazil is like most of the small supermercados run by families, and I mean and in the village everybody knows each other. So I have a good chance that one day I can go buy my food with EOS. Yeah, with the bigger supermercados, I think there is another strategy needed.
Yeah. Well, you take it step by step. First step is the local, and then maybe you could sprout something like what's going on in Venezuela, where businesses are accepting EOS more in the open. Maybe. I mean, but maybe there's too much of a legal risk. But that's amazing that you're doing that. So thank you to the ENF for allowing Dario to pay his rent in EOS. All right. I guess that's all I wanted to talk about. Do you have any closing remarks?
Except that I'm very grateful to be part of that whole EOS adventure.
Yes.
And thank you everybody who is part of it, and especially all the people who bring value. I'm thankful for everyone.
Well, I think I can represent the EOS community in thanking you, Dario, for all the work that you do and all the value that you bring, which is immense. And I'm very grateful to have you help us at the EOSBs, and I'm sure Randall as well at EOS support. So thank you for coming on. I know you don't love doing this type of format, but I really do appreciate it. I think the EOS community would love to see kind of your face and you speak. And so, yeah, I hope you guys like it. There's more hives on the way. So we just did our 9th active hive that was active in January. We have 2 more active hives coming on. That's the German hive and the Luganda hive. Luganda is the language of Uganda. So their language rhymes with their country. That was a joke that Ami made when I first told him. Anyways, so yeah, a couple more of these. I hope you guys are enjoying them. And so I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.
Bye-bye.